Welcome to Take Your Kids to Work Day. So today's video is hiking with the family.
This is your first time here. This is where I review a product I have bought, I have no sponsorship or bias towards, and have put through the ringer. Who am I? I've been mountaineering, climbing, and backpacking for over 20 years. I'm the guy who intentionally gets lost in the woods to see if I can survive and get out with only the gear on my back. I'm the guy who buys and tests out all this gear so that you don't have to. Welcome to Short Road.
Hello, we're on a hike today. Yeah.
So when you're taking your kids, family, on a hike, it's important to keep them engaged. So what I like to do is first, I'll pick a trail that's going to be a little more interesting for them. Bridge crossings, somewhere where there are going to be animals to observe, cool trees. And as we're going on the hike, I like to point out a lot of different cool things that are going to be somewhat educational, but also kind of interesting and fun for them to look at. Check this out. Look at all the moss here. You can touch it. It's basically like almost like grass. It's pretty cool though. And if you squeeze it, we're not going to squeeze it, but if you squeeze it, water will come out. So if you run out of water and you get a lot of moss in your hands and you squeeze it, you can actually drink the water that's in there because it's purified. Pretty cool.
Yeah, stop it.
You guys know how to tell how old a tree is?
Count the rings.
If you count all those rings, that's how old the tree is. And there's a lot of rings. So it's probably like 100 years old. It's pretty cool. Every year it gets a new ring.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
Whoa.
Am I going?
That's a ton.
Ready.
And they also point out mushrooms, which is another danger on the trail. And my kids know, no matter what, under any circumstance, you ever eat a wild mushroom. All right, what'd you find?
We found mushrooms.
Yeah, those are mushrooms.
Now let's mark it off.
Good job. And what's the rule with mushrooms in the wild?
Don't eat them.
Never. Right, Em? Never eat mushrooms. Most of them are poisonous. So I also like to give the kids a backpack, and they basically bring their own version of the 10 essentials with them. They're going to vary a little bit from a normal person's and adults, but they're going to have rain gear, they're going to have water, they're going to have food and snacks. Snacks is a big thing. Please bring snacks if you're bringing kids. And they're going to have some safety items like a whistle, like a compass. I also give them a Mylar blanket and teach them how to use it and all the uses it has, that if they get cold and they get lost, they can use their Mylar to keep them warm. They can also wave it in the air because it does reflect light to be noticed. And I also like to show kids just other little things. So as you can see, a bunch of fallen trees here. They all look pretty innocent. And a lot of kids are going to either jump over it or step on it. So what I do like to do is just teach them that there is a proper way to step over a log and a proper way to step on a log. So it sounds kind of stupid, but it is trivia. If you take a look at these logs, the first thing that comes to mind is, number one, there are a lot of them. So this probably is not the safest place to be. But number two, when you find fallen logs, is it's also a natural habitat for snakes. Snakes love going underneath logs. So if you ever have the chance, just step over it. The other danger of stepping on is oftentimes they are going to move and they are slippery, so you can fall, but sometimes you do have to step on them depending on how big they are. I also like to have them use all their senses. So obviously what they can see, but also what they can smell. So right now we are surrounded by trees, foliage, vegetation, plants. This is the best oxygen you're going to get. What do trees do for people?
Help us breathe.
They produce oxygen. So, on count 3, we're all going to take a deep breath and see how it feels. 1, 2, 3. That is good air. All right, keep going. You can also smell water when it starts to get damp. It has a very specific odor. So that's something else I'd like to point out. See if they can find a water source just by using their nose. And then what do they hear? I hear wind, birds. You can hear woodpeckers. And then also be aware of how they're feeling. Not just physically, are they tired, but mentally. Sometimes being surrounded by trees could trigger claustrophobic reaction for some people. That's something you want to be aware of. And sometimes it can trigger like a peaceful state. One of the things my kids really like to do is a scavenger hunt. So I like to make hiking into a game for them that keeps them engaged, it keeps them curious, and it kind of spurs that exploration part of them where they're not just going to be walking or lost in their thoughts or getting bored, that they actually have to observe their surroundings and try to find cool things. Good job, Adelaide. Good job, Emmeline.
It's like animal prints right now.
Animal prints, cool stick, cool rock.
For some danger on the trail.
Dangers.
Like big ant piles.
That's a danger.
Yeah. Can we go this way?
No, we're going
Are
straight.
these dangerous because someone can trip over it?
Could be. Could be. Tripping hazard.
What?
What's that?
Ant
Ant pile. Check it off your list.
Where?
That's a danger on the trail.
Oh, yeah. We should have dropped. Where? Dead tree. Is that a dead tree?
Look all the way up. Is it green at the top? Not dead. Do you know why we look for dead trees? Because dead trees are the ones that can fall down.
No, I'm gonna look. I'm looking. Is that poison ivy, the green stuff on there?
That?
No, the other one.
No, that's moss.
Oh, shit.
And then at the end of the scavenger hunt, there's always prizes. They're always going to be hiking related. So last time they won like a little hiking bag with a compass. They had a headlamp in there, a poncho in case it rains. So a lot of things that are all hiking outdoors related. And it kind of makes it fun for everyone. So basically, I like to just keep them engaged and having fun. I don't want them to get bored. I don't want to extend the hike into like a 5-mile trip. I like to keep it pretty fun and exciting. I really just want them to appreciate being outside. I think a lot of kids today spend way too much time indoors, and they're kind of missing out on what I got to experience when I was a kid, of just exploration and adventure and the unknown. You don't know what's out in the woods. It's very exciting.
Is that an animal print? It's like that, and then that, and then that.
No, that's from the water. That was a good guess, though. So we like to look for animal prints. And out here where we've been hiking, there are, of course, dog prints, deer, there are wild boar, and of course, Bigfoot. There are no apex predators where we hike. There are no more wolves in the wild in Texas anymore. They are endangered, but they used to roam these woods. So I did want the kids to experience that. We went to this wolf sanctuary that rescues wolves. just so they can see this is what it used to be like. And it's kind of sad that there are no more wolves in the wild here. So the only things that we really have to watch out for are snakes on the ground, and then deadfall, any kind of trees that might be falling. Those are really the only two dangers. Other than that, it's going to be poison ivy, scorpions, spiders, but none of those can kill you. I also like to remind them what to do if they get lost in the woods. And then we come to the potted breaks. So that one gets a little tricky, especially if you have girls, which I do. But it is part of hiking, and it is something that everyone kind of needs to learn how to do if you're going to be hiking any kind of distance or camping or just exploring outside, that eventually you're going to have to go potty, and teaching especially girls how to do that is going to be essential. Also, be prepared to modify and adjust the plans. Everything is going to be slightly different when you're with kids. If you start to notice them getting bored or anxious or getting tired, then I usually try to wrap it up pretty quick and end it early, because the last thing I want is for them to start dreading going on hikes. I want them to look forward to it every time. So sometimes we will go a bit longer depending on the weather and their attitude, and sometimes we will go just for a quick short hike, just to get out, get some fresh air, to look around, to explore, and then head back. So to summarize, have fun. Make it an adventure. Make it a safe adventure. Encourage exploration. Name an animal you can see in the woods.
Squirrels?
Yeah.
It's still a bird, though.
A squirrel is not a bird.
Yeah, it is.
Lady. Okay, your turn. You said one already in the car.
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.